Hi there, and welcome to Building Club Membership, a Lions University course brought to you by the USA-Canada Lions Leadership Forum. My name is Past District Governor Wendy Kane, even though you might be seeing Lion Mark Miller's name at the bottom of your screen or in some of the materials that have been sent. As we begin, I would like to remind you that this webinar is being recorded for those who cannot participate with us live, or if you would like to review the material again at a later time. We will have a couple of different ways that you can engage with each other today. We will be using a polling question, and you'll also be able to ask questions or respond to questions by using the questions pane and raising your hand to be called on or and then being unmuted to share verbally. I have a couple of comments that my volume is and the sound is not very good. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. Let me check connections to see what might be causing the problem. Hopefully if you guys can keep providing a little feedback in the questions pane as I try to adjust and keep going, I would appreciate that because you're going to be hearing a fair amount from me. So our topic today is course number 107, Building Club Membership. And this is a required course for Lions University's Bachelor's program that's really designed to help Lions lead at the club level. The Bachelor's program involves the completion of 10 required courses and at least 5 electives. And many of you are eager in particular for this course because it is the last required course that needs to be offered live for you to be able to complete the requirements for the Bachelor's program. Thank you guys for the feedback. I am still adjusting the microphone to see if I can get it a little bit clearer. You are able to see all of the courses that are currently available or scheduled by going to the appropriate program summary page. The Bachelor's program is shown here on the slide, and there is a similar program or a similar page for the Master's program. Lions will need to register for an account on lionsuniversity.org in order to access available courses, take quizzes, and track your real-time progress. This requires a different username and password than those who have registered at members.lionsforum.org. However, Lions could choose to use the same username and password if you wish. After participating in a webinar or watching a course video, select Mark as Completed at the bottom of the course page, and the link to the quiz module will appear. You can monitor your own course completions by selecting My Account and then selecting either My Bachelor's Program courses or My Master's Program courses. When you have completed a phase of the program, such as all required courses, at least 5 elective courses, or the required experience, select Apply for Program Credit and then select the appropriate phase that you want to document. When you complete the relevant information, we will verify that and update your profile at the members.lionsforum.org site. You can log into the forum members area if you have not already created an account. It is free to participate as a Lions University student, and this is where we'll track the completion of the main program elements to be able to recognize Lions for graduating from each of the programs. From your profile page, you'll be able to see the courses that some of you may have completed prior to March 1st of this year. They will continue to be maintained in this profile, and then the areas that are in the red brackets are the summary requirements that we're now tracking within this system. As a reminder, you can take any course in any order, or just the courses that are of interest to you. However, attendance at a USA-Canada Lions Leadership Forum in 2014 or later is a component for those of you who are working toward completing all of the bachelor's and/or master's program requirements. If you will be attending the 2015 forum in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I hope you do, we would love to have you be a part of the inaugural Lions University graduation ceremony. That will be held at 5 p.m. on Friday evening after the last seminar of the day, and you'll have an opportunity for a photograph with our international president. If you are registered for the forum, or once you've registered for the forum, please take a moment and apply for credit in advance under the appropriate program so that we can have an estimated number of lines for our planning. Lion Brian noted some background music, and I am not sure, I don't hear any background music, so I believe everyone is on mute. Lion Brian will try to work with that, but I'm not sure where the music might be coming from. I don't think it's not coming from my background. So hopefully that will kind of work itself out of. I'm not sure what's happening there that you're hearing background music. I hope it goes away for you there. All right, so you get to see a picture of me for today. Again, my name is Past District Governor Wendy King, and I'm going to facilitate some of the information here with our Building Club membership course, and then facilitate a discussion because many of you have some great experiences and lessons learned that we can share with one another. I would also like to shout out to my buddy in the background, Past International Director Bud Wall, who will be helping respond to comments and questions and sharing, either helping with the participation from other Lions or responding to questions in the background. So thank you, Lion Bud. So what we're going to cover in our Building Club membership course are first to talk about the variety of membership types that are available for us to use and make available to our members or potential members. We're going to learn about different membership categories and the privileges associated with each of those. We will explore the 4 steps of the Just Ask program to build your club membership and share successes and lessons that you have learned and many of us have learned in building our club membership. There are, I think, 4 or 5 references that are available on the course page. The ones that I think would be most beneficial either for following along or for your immediate reference after this webinar are the membership opportunities handout. It's a nice 2-page summary of some of the information we're going to talk about with the membership types and categories, and the Just Ask brochure. Another important handout that's there that you'll probably want is the membership application. So I made that easy to have available. Also, I noted that this was probably a pretty timely topic. This evening when I got home from work, I received the July membership pulse email from Lions Clubs International that went over a couple of things that we're going to talk about here this evening, but also some other programs that we won't talk about in as extensive detail. So please do, if you are on LCI's email distribution list, as a club officer, please do look at that email. Let's jump into talking about the membership types. And I've highlighted here 6 different membership types that apply. These 6 just is a limited time program for United States Lions, but the other 5, regular members, family member, student members, Leo Lions, and former Leo members, are available for Lions worldwide. And so I'd like to conduct the poll and find out from you which membership type you belong to if you know. If you don't know, I would select the default regular member. And let me get that poll launched. So if you'll take a moment and select the membership type applicable to you. Give you another few seconds, get more votes. Okay, let's close the poll and see our results. We had about 3/4 of our members that were regular, are under the membership regular type, or regular member type, excuse me. And we also had a couple of Lions type in the questions pane that they were regular members. And a little over a quarter who were family or were registered as family members, which, as we'll talk about in a moment, means that at least a spouse or other adults in the household are members. So I think we have a good opportunity here with some of these other membership types as we're looking at potential members, or even how to help bring some benefits to our existing members that maybe we haven't in the past. Let me find my way back to, there we go. Go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so let's spend a minute and talk just briefly about the different membership types. And this information is all summarized on the membership opportunities handout that I referenced a moment ago. And there are a few things that we're going to highlight relative to some of the different types, but this is a nice summary to show some of the different programs that Lions Clubs International has in place. When we look at the entrance and charter fee, there is a reduction for students who are over the age of 30 if they are part of a campus Lions Club only. Regular, if you are a student and are certified that you are in a full-time higher education up to age 30, then your entrance and charter fee can be waived whether you are part of a campus Lions Club or any other type of Lions Club. But they do have a reduced entrance or charter fee for older Lions that are students as part of the campus Lions Club. And then the Leo Lions up through the age of 30, or former Leos over the age of 30, entrance and charter fee are waived. And as we'll see in a moment, that at least for a limited time, U.S. veterans entrance and charter fees are waived. And AJ asked a question, does family membership trump a U.S. veteran? I was not able to find in the research how the different programs combine. I believe that if a U.S. veteran spouse joins, that their entrance fee or charter fee would be waived, and then they would, whether whether they were the head of the household or additional members, the appropriate dues structure would apply. So I think you can use them in concert because they have slightly different benefits. As you can see, under the annual LCI dues, there are reduced rates for student members, Leo Lion members up through age 30, and additional family members in the same household. One thing to note with the discounted dues that LCI offers for some of these membership types is that your district, multiple district, and club dues all still apply. So they, unless your club, district, or multiple district have made provisions for a reduced dues amount for some of these same membership types, that discount, like the 50%, does not automatically apply to the other levels of dues. So just a couple of things to highlight about the family member program. And I think, at least what I've noticed within my district, we've gotten better, but it still appears that we have a lot of family members who are members of a club, the same club, but the club secretary has not designated them for this family unit certification, and so the club is not benefiting from the reduced dues, nor having something to pass along potentially to the members. So the reduced family dues membership is applicable for up to 4 additional family members after the first family member, who's designated in the LCI system as the head of the household, is registered. All family members would pay the one-time entrance or charter fees. I do believe, in addition to the U.S. Veteran Program, that if you had a family member who was a former a Leo Lion member, that those would be waived as well. A couple of items that you need to have in order to be eligible for this: you need to be old enough to be a Lions Club member, so you need to be of the age of majority. You need to be in the same Lions Club. So I'm aware of some spouses that are in different Lions Clubs because of the convenience of the time they meet or where they meet. They would not be eligible for that family dues structure. And you need to live in the same household and be related. And you also need to certify those things and sign that or verify that so that the club secretary is able to enter it into the system. The student member type is eligible if you are enrolled in an educational institution. Again, you need to be of the legal age of majority up through age 30 to have your entrance or charter fees waived and be eligible for half of the LCI dues. And then I mentioned the provision for members of campus Lions clubs who are over the age of 30. The Leo Lion member is a member type available for current or former Leos who are, at least in the U.S., between the ages of 18 and 30, for those who have been a Leo for at least a year and a day. We talked about the waiver of the entrance and charter fees and the dues structure. The provision here is that Lions Clubs International will recognize the Leo's years of service and add that to their Lions service. So that's a nice benefit as well for our former Leos. There's also kind of a special nuance that if you have young Lions up through age 30 who were not former Leos but join a special Leo Lions club, then they will also receive those same waivers and the reduction in dues. And then for former Leos who are over the age of 30.
Wendy?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I just wanted, this is Bud. I had sent a remark out to everybody. I'm not sure if it got to everyone or not, but on the family discount for the membership dues, we need to remember that that family discount only applies to Lions Clubs International dues. The multiple district and the district dues still have to be paid in full.
Yep. Thank you. That was the clarification, even for the other reduced dues
Right.
programs, unless the club has or the district has made provisions to have a reduced rate for those member types.
Exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bud. Okay, so there's also an opportunity again for former LEOs to have their charter or entrance fees waived. The Involve a U.S. Veteran program is one that was a pilot program for the last couple of years, and just within the last week or two, probably right after the Lions International Board meeting after the convention, it was approved for this pilot program to continue and be extended through this Lions year. So what it allows is the waiver of entrance or charter fees for new clubs. There is a certification form to complete, much like these other programs. It's available for veterans from each of the different military branches, as well as the National Guard or reserves. And it's also available for current National Guard or reserve members. So that's something that it is an opportunity for us to take advantage of folks who want to serve, who are already civic-minded in service towards the country and towards helping others, and be able to help kind of bring them into the fold of our Lions clubs if we haven't already. I think initially the program was targeted for a certain number of members that were categorized as the veteran membership, and I don't know if they extended it because participation was more than expected or because they hadn't quite gotten the participation or the numbers that they thought might be available. So definitely, that's an area of opportunity for our U.S. Lions clubs. So those are the different membership types and some of the, at least the benefits to our members in the clubs by being able to have waived fees or reduced dues. There are also a number of membership categories that once someone becomes a member, or when you're talking to someone about becoming a member of your Lions Club, that you'll want to be able to have in your back pocket to know and offer based on their personal situations. The standard type is an active membership. Affiliate members are those who are not necessarily able to participate in all of the club meetings and activities, but really want to support the club and its initiatives in helping the community. Associate members are those who have an active membership in another Lions club where they're paying LCI dues and district and multiple district dues, but maybe they spend, maybe they're snowbirds and they spend half of their year in the north and half of their year in the south. You can only be a active member in one club and you only pay full dues in one club, but you can be involved with other clubs. And so that's a provision that we have with the associate membership. An honorary membership is one that you might bestow upon a community leader or someone who has made contributions in the community, but there are not subsequent international dues or things that affiliate with that or that are associated with that, so they're not considered from Lions Club's international perspective as a member of the club, but they may be, you can consider them a member of your Lions Club. Life members, that's an opportunity to pay a one-time fee for Lions Club's international dues for Lions who have either been members for 20 or more years or 15 plus years if they're at least age 70. Again, in that case, district, multiple district, and club dues would still apply. Member at large category is one in which you may have members who they still want to be associated with and a part of the Lions Club, but for a variety of reasons may not be able to attend meetings regularly. And the next step up maybe what I look at as the privileged membership category. If someone has been a member for 15 or more years and are just not able to attend activities for, in many cases, it's usually associated with health or illness, but if there's something that's preventing them from being active and they have that history of serving with the club, then the privileged membership is an opportunity. Let's see. I'm not keeping up with all the questions, so Bud can help me there, but I saw the quick short question, what is the fee amount? The current fee for life membership is $650. So I did the math the other day once I realized how long I had been a Lion, and if that's probably a good deal if you anticipate a life member being a Lions Club member for 15 or more years. So certainly something to think about, in a way for either Lions to purchase themselves or a way for clubs to honor longtime Lions.
Now, Wendy, we have a couple other questions that came up that
Sure.
Before we move on, if you could. We have one from Lion Donna talking about the waiver of the veterans fee. She said that they have a veteran that recently joined but was never told about the U.S. veteran waiver, and they found out this week, and they want to know if there's some way they might be able to get the waiver, the money returned that they paid for the entrance fee. Do you know if there's a way to do that?
I do not. That is a great question. But you may have better experience or interaction with Lions Clubs International. But I think if your club secretary or president would contact the club operations group and explain that, they might credit the club, depending on how long ago he became a member. Lion Mahesh is saving the day. He just responded that if it's less than 60 days, then they can modify your statement. And that's what I was just thinking ago. So Lion Donna shared a month ago. So I think that is something that it's short enough cycle of the club account that notifying them and just saying it was either omitted or done in error would be a great way to get that credit back to the club and then share that with the member. Mm-hmm. So thank you for the assist, Lion Mahesh. Let's see, a couple other ones coming through. Lion Arthur asked if the entrance fee of a spouse of a veteran is also waived. I need to refer back to my handy dandy table, but no, the entrance fee for the veteran would be waived. The family program does not incorporate a waiver of the entrance fee. It just incorporates the reduced dues. So once one of the members came in and if the head of the household is charged the $43 a year, then the spouse would be the half of that, $21.50. So what I put on the screen, or what you're able to see now, is not a table that I want to go through the details of, but I put this up here because it is in that membership opportunities handout, and I wanted you to see the variety of yeses and nos for the different privileges associated with the different membership categories. So in which cases club, district, or Lions Clubs International dues apply, whether members of the different types are eligible to hold a district or international office, vote, and at what level, and whether they're eligible to serve as a delegate to your district and or international conventions. So there's a lot of different combinations here. They're going to think this is a tool that, as you talk with and are seeking new members, that you want to have in your back pocket to be able to meet and accommodate the different situations that our potential members may face. So let's dive into the nuts and bolts of how we're going to get folks in the door to our Lions Club. And in the last year, Lions Clubs International rolled out to the Just Ask program, and there's a very detailed new member recruiting guide. It's the Just Ask guide. I had referred to that, and it is on the course download page. couple of things that we're going to highlight from that process, and then get some feedback from you. There's a slight twist that our current international president has added to the Just Ask program, and that is an emphasis on just asking family and friends. So really that is very complementary to some of the programs that we have talked about, whether your family or spouses or students or former LEOs or veterans. There's a lot of opportunity for us there. And that's one of the things we want to take advantage of. I just stepped back a membership category so Lion Deb could make a note of something on that page there. So let's talk about the 4 easy steps of the Just Ask program: preparing your club, creating the club's growth plan, implementing that plan, and then welcoming your new members. And some of the questions and the bullet points that will be on the next couple of slides are in the Just Ask guide that I referenced. So you don't need to rush to write those down and things. They're all readily available. The first part with preparing your club is to really step back, and this has a lot to do with our club excellence process and just reflecting with your club on what you want it to accomplish, what you want your club to be or do in the future, and also why your club wants new members. I think that's a key question that I think our clubs need to be honest and ask themselves, not just why they want new members, but then how they will react to new members. Because I've had a lot of clubs tell me that they want to grow, or maybe in particular they want younger members, but they just want their hands. And when the younger or new members bring ideas, they want to do the same old stuff. And so the club itself is not prepared mentally to bring in new members in that case. And so I think those are some important questions or some additional detail in the Just Ask guide to step back as you're starting your membership campaign for things to think about. The club member survey and the community needs assessment that are part of the club excellence process, or if you just did either of those independently of the club excellence process, are also great tools to help your club prepare. When we get into the nuts and bolts of creating the growth plan, and there's some great forms as a part of that guide, we want to look at, again, who are we going to target? Who are the types of people that we want to recruit? Because that's going to then help us answer the next question of where we might find them and when or how we would recruit them. There are a lot of materials that are available for our use in recruiting new members. There's a lot of things that we do on a regular basis as far as getting the word out about Lionism that can also help recruit. When I glance down through the list of those of you online, there's many of you who I'm friends with on social media. Social media is a great way to share information about our clubs or a recruiting effort. Your club website or the eClubhouse. There are a lot of printed materials that are still available from Lions Clubs International. They don't send out printed materials as often as they used to because of just the cost and probably brochures and things not being used, but you can order those, many at no cost, if you seek out the effort to do that, versus a lot in the past there were a lot of material that they would send to our clubs for different purposes. There's also some great downloadable brochures, either ones that you can just print and use as is. There are 2 or 3 that are like templates that you can customize with your club information, and a large portion of it be the club, the Lions International portion of the brochure, but also be customized for your club. So some great resources that are out there. We're going to talk in a little bit more detail about the informational meeting and the combinations of that or a membership night, because that's one of the things that we hear a lot about, and that's one of the things that I personally want to hear from many of you who have done that before to get your experiences of what's worked. There's actually a fair amount of detail in steps and guides in the Just Ask document that can walk you through a membership night or an informational meeting. And so I'd like to hear from your personal experiences on that here in just a moment. So after we create the plan, then we're going to implement it. And I'm going to pause here because a couple of, I want to talk about the informational meeting, but a couple of other things that we can do just kind of is to get us thinking about how to reach out to potential members, or the sponsoring a community event, or perhaps setting up a booth at a special event. I'd like to hear if anyone's had successes with that and what that might look like. And certainly inviting your target members to come participate with your club in a service project. And so I would like to now give an opportunity for, let's talk first about the informational meeting, and if anyone would like to share either a positive experience or some lessons that the rest of us can learn, maybe it didn't quite go as planned and there's something you would do differently next time. I'd like to hear that first, just associated with the informational meeting, or if you like, you can type that in the questions pane, but that may be an awful lot to type. So we are looking for any hands that may have experience with a membership night or an informational meeting.
I don't see any hands raised yet. Oh, there's a hand, I think. Yeah.
There's
Lime Brian. Let me see if I can call on him. Lime Brian, you're unmuted. Can you hear me? Are you there, Lime Brian? I didn't hear him. Did you?
No. Let's try Lion Dawn. And then we have a couple of comments coming in. Lion Dawn?
Oh, hello. Yes, we had a fairly successful soup night event where we had members send out personal invitations that we got together so that the person coming could be assured of at least knowing somebody. And then we had members bring soups, appetizers. We purchased some things. We had a beautiful venue that was local to us, but I'm sure other communities have such things. And it was really reasonable cost-wise. But we did have a PowerPoint. We had just 3 or 4 Lions just speak as to why they joined. It was just a social and informational. We had brochures, we had applications. We got probably 5 or 6 likely to definites. A few have already joined, a few are joining the beginning of this year, and we have a couple more to follow up on, but it was pretty successful. As far as doing something different, I think getting more buy-in from club and more club members to invite people. It was the first time we'd done one like this, and the first time that I guess the club has done a membership night in quite a length of time. So it's just new, but I think if we do it more regularly, we're hoping to be on the membership committee, but we're hoping to do it annually or something similar. But we also included a service project aspect to it, where we collected some goods for the local food pantry. We contacted them to see what they needed and such. And so that was also received fairly positively as well. So we just had a little bit of every little thing, but the soup went over very well. And we kept the cost down by having people bring things. So it overall was a pretty successful night.
Thank you, Dawn, for sharing that. It sounds like something we can all take away in particular was the personal invitation from members. Because I'm used to us, and I've seen clubs, and my club has done this, where we've generated a list and then kind of sent a form letter out from the club or from the club president. So I like the personal touch of the individual members. Did your club ask members to identify a minimum number of people to invite, or was it just whoever they wanted?
Well, we did ask for 3 to 5, but not everybody did that. But kind of on a humorous note, one of our members, actually our president at the time, put a couple invitations in her neighbor's doors, and actually got her neighbor that she hadn't interacted with very much, and they were actually very interested. So I believe she's going to follow up with that. But it was kind of a happy surprise. They sat and communed as neighbors as well as potential lions at the event. But we did ask people to generate names, but decided instead of mailing them that we would create an invitation that we then sent to all lions electronically, and provided some print ones for those who didn't have access to internet. Most of our members do, but there are a couple that don't. And so that they could give them, hand them, or they could mail them, or like this member, stick them in a door. And had some contact information so that they could RSVP and things. So, but I think that the personal invitation definitely was a plus for sure.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
We have several other good ideas here, Wendy. You want me to share them with everybody?
Please do.
Yeah, we have Lion AJ said, when planning your meeting, make sure that all of the current members are involved and that they know what parts they're supposed to play. Make sure to have a run-through before the main event. So make sure almost like a dress rehearsal, you need to make sure everyone knows what their role is for that particular evening, so that you're not playing off the cuff that evening. So that's a good point to bring forward. Lion Michael said a club had a euchre tournament to bring in the people, and in the middle of the tournament they had the informational meeting, and so it's a special event. Our club did something very similar to that. We had a euchre tournament and had information there about the club and the types of services we provide to the community, and picked up a couple of members from that too as well. So that's a good idea to have an event and have information and a little short program, not a long one but a short one.
Good idea to have something social like that. Thank you, AJ. And
yeah.
Michael.
Lion Manuel said they had an open house in Spanish for a specialty club with guest speakers and Spanish handouts. And the outcome of that was a new club was chartered shortly after that night, and Spanish-speaking guiding lions were assigned to the new club, and the club is still growing. So that's fantastic. They got a specialty club, an ethnic club, out of doing something special, and so you always have to think outside the box. And
yeah. Thank you. I'm going to call on Thomas Gregg, and then I noticed that Leanne has a comment. If you'll share that after we hear from
sure.
Ryan Thomas.
Okay.
You're unmuted.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. One thing with the personal invitation is to follow that up with a personal phone call to make sure that the person that you want actually got it, and then maybe to also offer to bring that person to the informational meeting.
Good points. Thank you. That's helpful. I mean, just the follow up in any event. Certainly, and I've noticed that as a follow. I've noted that on the slide as a follow up after the event. But certainly after we receive the invitation, lets them know we care and that we were serious. So appreciate the extra insights.
Yeah, and Lion Leanne shares that their club provided a special dinner, a beef brisket dinner for potential new members. They had a DVD about lions on display along with printed literature, and they had a very, very short program from the club president, a speech from the club president about lions, and they had applications available. It was a very good turnout, very good and positive turnout. So again, special invitations in these types of meetings in the evening or daytime, weekends, whenever it's available. these types of meetings and special events are potentially more successful when you do include that special invitation and personal follow-up with phone calls, and like Lion Tom had said, even offering to stop by and pick them up and take them to the meeting. You know, make it as easy as possible to get them there. You know, call them up and say, what time do you want me to pick you up? So follow-up is important. It really is.
Thank you. I'm going to piggyback. Lion AJ shared a comment that I think fits, you know, an informational meeting or event and then the follow-up piece, but kind of combines. He noted that after a membership or informational meeting, the follow-up that they scheduled was to get them involved with an upcoming service project. And so that kind of fits one of the other options that we have here for inviting your target members to a service project. I think that certainly is high potential because we're getting them out there where they're, you know, the main thing we do is we serve, and if we can get folks serving sooner rather than meetings, then I think that helps get them hooked sooner. And I was getting ready to call on Patricia, but it looks like she noted something in the comments.
All right.
Let's see.
I got a few more comments I'll share, and if you have anyone you want to call on, just cut me off. But Lion Tim has a good idea. He carries around a Lions business card with him at all the time, and includes information about his particular club and the district roles that he currently holds, and an offer to attend a meeting. And so, you know, that's sort of like an elevator speech. Always have an elevator speech prepared for you whenever you bump into somebody that recognizes you wearing your Lions pin. They says, oh, what's that pin all about? And, you know, in a matter of 20 to 30 seconds, you should be able to tell them as much information about Lions as you can in that amount of time to pique their interest, to ask you about more information. So elevator speeches and business cards and wearing your pin always helps. Lion Dawn even says they use a large lion mascot at events with balloons. The kids drag the parents over. The lion entertains the kids. The lion's handler gives their elevator speech to the parent. There you go. So
Great combination.
Yeah. So, you know, any little, even any little gimmick. Our club during Halloween, our downtown merchants has, you know, on Saturday morning they have kids go downtown and with their parents, and they go stop at all the stores for candy and that kind of thing. And our club usually goes in front of a vacant building and puts up a stand, and we have giveaways, candy and little trinkets and toys and stuff like that. And one year we had SpongeBob there. Another time we had a lion dressed up in a lion's costume, and it, you know, anything like that attracts kids who bring their parents, and you know, you have something for the parents to give to them too, as well as candy to the kids. So a lot of great ideas here.
Yeah, we have a few more that I'd like to share because we're close to the end of what's prepared. But I guess I'd like to ask those of you that are either participating or listening to this video later to think about some of these ideas that can be incorporated into your club's growth plan that you're creating. So some of these details, you know, it's easy to lose track of some of these little nuances that can make the difference between, you know, successful participation and maybe less than what you had hoped. And so to the extent that some of these ideas resonate with you, I encourage you to share them with your membership committee, or if you are a part of your club's team that is developing the growth plan and creating that, to consider some of these details. So Lion Donna advised, and I'm with you there, take the word meeting out of the invitations. Make it more social. That gets to kind of the soup dinner, the euchre tournament, and we'll get, I think, one scrolled out of view for Lion Linda's fishing tournament. So I do think, you know, Lion Donna's observation that people are more interested in a social than a meeting, and I think it also helps to give a perspective of you're better able to get to know the people that you would be working with and serving with in a social environment. So thank you for sharing that and reminding us of that, Lion Donna. let's see, Lion Linda shared that living in Minnesota, one of their clubs had a fishing for members night and set up some buckets as if ice fishing. They pulled out questions and went around the room reading the questions and providing information about lions and lions history. So that's creative. Take advantage of whatever special niche your community or your club identifies with. So thank you for sharing that, Lion Linda. Anything else that you can see from the list that you want to highlight? Lion Erica has a couple of, let's see, successes for, she's in a campus club. Hey, Lion Erica. She had made a display with a hidden image in it and offered a prize, which was a lion's pin from her collection, to any new student that could tell her what that hidden image was, and it gave her an opportunity to talk about lions while they looked over the display. They then provided their contact information in order to play that game. So thank you, Lion Erica. We have a couple of examples of what lions say kind of for their elevator speech, and if it's okay to save a little bit on time and to help drive business over to the forum or the discussion forum, I will pull that information and some of these ideas out and add it to the discussion forum. I'm interested for the idea of reaching target members by sponsoring a community event or setting up a booth at a special event. If there had things, we heard a couple of different ways that Lions have participated in events, whether it be a school event or having the mascot. Other lessons or things that have worked. I know my club in particular has had booths out at community fairs or festivals and had people stop by that were interested, and even with the follow-up, it hasn't, we haven't gotten quite the success following that that we had anticipated or that we thought based on the conversations. And I noticed Lion David has his hand raised, so I'm going to unmute him, and let's hear what Lion David has. Lion David?
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you now.
Okay. One of the things that our club does as far as setting up a booth at a special event is Eversight really, and before that, Michigan Eye Bank, you really like to promote the donor registry for organ donors. And at our local Art on the Bay, our Lions Club mans a booth that we do nothing but the donor registry and try to sign people up for that. And at the same time, we promote our Lions Club with some handouts and discussions while we have them there signing up for the donor registry. So that's one of the ways that we do a community event and help to talk about lions.
All right. Thank you, Lion David. We had a couple of other comments that I'll run down through. Lion John reminds us that every Lions event is a recruiting opportunity, and we should have brochures and the ever-popular membership application available. Lion Judy shared that her club gives each member a Lions card with an email address and telephone number to hand out to interested people. My club does something similar with that, but I'm not sure that, I know I'm personally not very good at thinking to pull it out when I talk to people, and so I wonder how many of my other fellow members do that. And so I think we've got the tool, it's just that's gets to the implementation of how we use that. So we have some opportunity there, but certainly having that available is a good reference. Lion Amy shared, and I think this is something that we need to look into as we look towards technology and to attract younger members. She was thinking of having a texting contest to attract folks and also, give them a chance to let the young adults know what their club does in the community and maybe raise money in registration fees. So I was not long ago at a concert where you texted to a number and it gave you the opportunity to win better seats. And as soon as you replied, or as soon as you sent the text message, you got an instant reply back. But what surprised me is that I have never since gotten a message from that artist or that artist's kind of membership list. So I think they're missing an opportunity there, but I think big picture, there are things that Lions can take advantage of to make information available, attract younger members that communicate differently than many of us might communicate. So Lion Amy, I think that's definitely something to look into, and I hope that we'll be hearing more about that idea. Let's see. Lion Gary shared having a potential draw for new members is to have a guide dog or service dog at the event. Almost everybody loves dogs, but it's also nice to be able to share how Lions help serve in providing service dogs or guide dogs. Lion Kendra shared that she's going to start a committee to get in touch with new people that move into the area, providing a small gift and literature and just welcome to the neighborhood. That's a great idea, and depending on how your club is situated or your community, I think is an opportunity that many of us might have. So I hope some of these ideas are resonating with you. There's several more, and I will incorporate those into some of the membership ideas that we put on the discussion forum. Lion Dawn notes something that's probably a good segue into the last step of the Just Ask program, and that is welcoming our new members. And really, once someone says they're interested and they sign on the dotted line, we want to conduct a meaningful new member induction ceremony. And the sooner the better. The sooner we can make it official and let them know how important they are to us personally and to helping our club continue to serve in the community will be an asset. Once they're inducted or as part of this process, we want to make sure to offer new member orientation and mentoring either with the member's sponsor or with another member of the Lions Club. And then most importantly, we need to get them involved in club projects. And there's one of the resources at the end of the Just Ask brochure is a member questionnaire. If your club does not have something similar that you use for new members or even periodically your existing members, then I'd encourage you to take a look at that, see if it's usable as is, or if you might want to modify it for your club purposes to gauge the interests of new members or your existing members to help increase their involvement. So as we get close to the top of the hour, I want to thank you all again for some other great ideas that we will share in the discussion forum. I want to take a step back and review the objectives that we had this evening. We spent quite a few minutes talking about the membership types and benefits of each of those to our potential and existing members, as well as different membership categories and at least a reference of where to go to understand the privileges associated with each of those. We talked about the 4 steps of the Just Ask to build your club membership program, and we've got a lot of great ideas and a few lessons learned from great participation from all of you on how to build our club membership. So again, thank you all for your participation in that regard. I've made reference to this a couple of times. The easiest shortcut to get to the discussion boards is to go to lionsforum.org and click the link for discussion boards. There is a special topic or a special board for this course, number 107, and put the information that you provided and the things that you've shared here up there as starter material, and I would encourage you to continue sharing ideas and what's worked with each other, because there's a whole library and or a whole menu of options of ways that we can bring in new members. And what I've noticed most in my club is kind of the paralysis of analysis. When there's too many choices, the easiest choice is to do nothing. And so really what we want folks to do in creating that plan is to pick something and implement it. You doesn't have to pick everything. You don't have to pick everything or try every approach that's available. But pick one, try it and implement it, and improve from there. So to the extent that we can learn from one another, this is a great opportunity that we have through the Lions University Connections. Our next webinar is coming up next Tuesday, August 4th. It is the topic Advanced Facilitating Skills, and it is a master's program requirement. As all of our programs, we begin at 8 o'clock Eastern, and you can register at the lionsuniversity.org website. Don't forget, after completing the course, you just click that mark as completed. It'll take you to the quiz, and you will need that to get credit. So don't forget to do that. And before you depart, please go ahead and go to on your control panel up under File and select the option to exit. And we will look forward to seeing you on future Lions University courses. So thank you all again for your participation. Thank you, Lion Bud, for your assist this evening. And have a great day.